Mrs. Girot, and I am going to read with you the syllabus. Yay! Syllabus, rules, expectations, and class contract. So I'm Mrs. Girot. It's French and pronounced Girot. My cell phone number is 801-637-9682. The tech support line is 866-K12-CARE. Be sure to use that line if you ever run into issues like can't get something to submit to the Dropbox, things like that. Get some help. Course syllabus, digital arts, from stick drawings to 3D design. Welcome to digital arts. You will have weekly objectives, and every week you will have a weekly lesson. In weekly lessons, you will learn to create digital drawings and designs from scratch using a program called Inkscape. You will learn how specific artists and their movements have created meaning in the world using the elements of art and principles of design. Weekly tests are to be completed by Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Every week there will be an assignment. Weekly assignments will give you an opportunity to apply creatively what you've learned in the lessons. By the end of this class, you will be ready to communicate a powerful message of your own. Start thinking now about a personal, local, or global issue you are passionate about. Weekly assignments are due Thursdays at 3. Please submit your work on time to give me an opportunity to prepare for the Friday sack lunch critique. Friday, 12 noon, sack lunch critiques are live and provide a playful forum where weekly student work is exhibited for all to enjoy. Students will learn what a critique is and what a critique is not. Critiques will be recorded so students with schedule conflicts can also participate asynchronously. There is a weekly critique quiz, which is due Friday at 3 p.m. Also, vote for a winner. After you participate in the sack lunch critique, either live or asynchronously, please vote for a winner. Winners are announced each week at the sack lunch critiques. Portfolio blog. You're going to create an artist blog at blogspot.com in week 1. Continue to update your blog with your artwork and reflections from assignments we do, as well as sketches and other art you may do in your free time. You may even blog about other artists who inspire you. Continue to work on your blog throughout the course. We'll have a live portfolio critique at the end of the block in week 9. Attendance. I provide 20 points weekly to students who meet with me in the art class. If you are an A or a B student and you don't need my help, you don't need to meet with me. I'll gladly award the 20 points weekly to students who have proven that they can do it without my help. Interventions. If you're falling behind, failing tests or quizzes, or failing to submit the quality of work I expect, you will be required to attend one or more weekly interventions. My favorite part of this class is sharing your work with other students so that we can all grow and learn from each other. We'll learn to critique based on learning outcomes rather than talent. So don't be afraid of this process. I promise it will be rewarding and fun. The asynchronous flipped model. This is an asynchronous class, and it is also a flipped class. What that means is technically, asynchronous implies that this is not a live class. So you can create space in your schedule to complete the weekly objectives by their due dates at a time that fits best for you. This prevents schedule conflicts with your other live classes and gives you some flexibility with your schedule. However, you will find live art classes in your Class Connect schedule. These have been created to give you an opportunity to meet with me, Mrs. Girot, to get the support you may need as you progress through the course. In summary, you will complete this course independently for the most part, and come to see me when you need the help. Be sure to complete your weekly lesson and read the weekly assignment instructions carefully before you come to see me in the art class. That way you'll know what questions you have for me. And why is this flipped model so cool? Because you get to use your class time to engage and make it all about you. It will give me a chance to learn about you and your individual needs so I can be a better teacher for you. Need help, confused, not sure what to do? Contact me as soon as possible. Be proactive. Preferred method? Meet me live in the art class where I can actually demonstrate for you where to go or what to do. For immediate help, text or call my cell, 801 637-9682. I love hearing from students. Email generally has a slow turnaround time for me. So, for urgent matters such as I can't submit my work to the Dropbox, please contact me via text, phone, or in the live art class. And that's also a good time to use that K-12 CARE, 866 K-12 CARE. All right, summary of weekly objectives. So the lesson and test are due Tuesdays at 3. The assignments due Thursdays at 3. The Friday Sack Lunch Critique is live Fridays at noon. And if you are going to be participating asynchronously, that video will be available at 1 p.m. The critique quiz is due that Friday at 3, and voting for a winner Friday at 3. Make sure you create a new blog post at least once a week or more if your creative juices are flowing. Please do not skip around. Even if you're coming in late, like for example, maybe it's week 2 and you're just finally starting the class, don't do week 2. Start with week 1 first, then do week 2, then 3, etc. because the skills do build on top of each other. Always complete the weekly lesson before the weekly assignments. That way you get that depth of thought and are able to pull that meaning into the assignment. Attendance is required in this class. However, if you have an A or a B, I guess I should just read what it says. If you do not have an A or a B, you are required to meet me face to face in the art class once per week to set goals, monitor your progress, and get the support you need. Okay, so what I wanted to say is if you have an A or a B, you're not required to meet with me. Two-way communication courtesy. If I send you an email, text, or voicemail, please have the courtesy to reply to me within 24 hours. Let me know what your goals and plan for success are. And that's even if I'm sending one of those automated, like voicemails to your house that I sent to everybody in the class that didn't do that assignment. I still am asking you to engage in a two-way communication with me. So please, if you get one of those voicemails or if you get an email from me, please respond to me. Thank you. In addition, please communicate with me at least once per week, especially if you have questions or fall behind. If we can develop regular communication, I know you'll do much better than if you're just out there floating in space with no one to be accountable to. I'm your teacher. I need to know what's going on with you. If you fail to meet with me live, send a text instead. You could easily communicate your goals and evidence that you're working by saying something like, Mrs. Girot, this is Judy Hops. I know I fell behind in week 3, but my goal is to complete week 3 by Sunday so that I'll be on track again next week. In addition, I will turn in this week's assignments on time so that I don't fall further behind. And then the thing that's really important here is that when you tell me that you're going to do something, you actually do it, okay? So don't tell me I'm going to have it done by Sunday, and then when I check Monday, it's not done, okay? If you say you're going to do something, do it. That's called integrity. All right, be as specific as possible. I keep a spreadsheet with all of our communications on it, so I'll be documenting things and following up with you. Time commitment of this class is about 4 to 5 hours weekly. Lessons could be 1 to 2 hours. Assignments in the blog, 2 to 3 hours. Critiques, they're only a half hour long, but just depending on how long you want to stick around and look at the artwork and hang out and chat with your friends, could be an hour. Late policy. It is important to have your assignments submitted on Thursday at 3 p.m. so that they can be included in the Friday Sack Lunch Critique. Please do your best to submit on time. If you're running a little behind and cannot get it in until, say, Thursday at 10, just let me know so that I can get it uploaded to the critique in the morning on Friday. Participating in the critiques is going to push you to be a better artist, so please do not shy from this incredible opportunity to reach your highest potential. I generally do not deduct points for late work. Whether on time or late, just do your best, okay? So if you know you're late and you're already late, don't rush through it and do a skimpy job on it. Take your time. Do a good job on it. Learn. That's what you're here for. If you are not meeting your due dates, you will be required to attend at least one intervention per week to help you get finished or caught up. Final deadline. The last day to submit tests, quizzes, and assignments is October 23rd. Finals week is October 24th through the 27th. You do not have to take the final. You can avoid taking the final by maintaining a passing grade in this class. I repeat, you do not have to take the final exam if you maintain a passing grade. If you maintain a failing grade, you will be required to take the final exam as a last-ditch effort to prove that you have learned the outcomes necessary to pass the class, and that is the goal. Pass all your classes in high school. Every one counts towards graduation, even electives. Yes, don't come back and tell me later that your counselor never told you that your electives counted towards graduation. They do. That's why you're taking them. The final exam will be available Monday, October 24th through Thursday, October 27th. My passing rate goal is 100%. My goal as a teacher is to achieve 100% passing rates in this class. That means I want 100% of you to be successful. I will do everything I can to support you, to make this class enjoyable for you, to boost your confidence, to praise you, to be there for you. Please meet me halfway. Hopefully you'll meet me more than halfway since, this is all about you. Cheating and plagiarism. At least one student every block tries it and gets caught. Bummer. I use technology to check your work for originality, and it's really embarrassing to both of us when you cheat because then I have to confront you about it. So just do your own work and don't try to submit someone else's, please. It's illegal. It's stealing someone's intellectual property and will result in a 0 for the assignment. And I'll have to notify your learning coach. If there is a second offense, you'll also need to attend a meeting with the learning coach and school principal. So just don't get into that habit. It's a nasty habit. Save and name your work. So save your work often because Inkscape uses up a lot of your computer's resources and there's a chance it could crash. Or there's also those automatic updates that your computer will suddenly decide to do without asking if it's okay with you and just all of a sudden shut all your programs down. Or there's power outages. Students, losing your work in this digital age is a harsh lesson that all of us at some point learn. I am trying right now to prevent you from having to learn it the hard way. Save your work often. As soon as you create your file, save it. Give it a name. And then just remember every step or two, click the save button. There's a little save icon. Just click it. Click it, click it, click it. Just keep clicking it. That way you don't lose it. Worst thing could happen if you're constantly saving is that you'll have to go back and do a couple of steps. Save your work often so if your computer crashes, you don't lose your entire project. Make sure the name you give your work reflects the assignment in some way. Extensions tell computers what program to open a file in. Repeat, extensions tell computers what program to open a file in. The file extension for Inkscape program is .svg. So you'll notice that when you save, it's going to add a .svg at the end. That will tell any computer in the world, if I get that file, I'm going to open it in Inkscape. And if I don't have Inkscape on my computer, and I'm going to tell you what, unless you're taking this class or some kind of computer graphics geek, you probably don't have Inkscape on your computer. So the majority of people in the world will not be able to open your file in this format. In order to actually publish images you create in the Inkscape program onto the web, or if you email it to someone and you want them to be able to open it up and see it, that type of thing, or if you want to get it on your phone and text it to somebody, you're going to need to export it as a ping. Okay? This is going to give the file the extension .png. So you're going to notice you guys are used to doing file save as. Okay? Well, when you're using graphics programs, when you save it, it's saving it as whatever program you saved it into. So you're going to have to get used to this idea of exporting your work. You're You're sending it out of that program into the big world. You're exporting it, and Inkscape will let you export it as a ping. You will turn in 2 files for your assignments, okay? So you're going to have to turn in the saved Inkscape file, which has an extension .svg, and you're going to need to turn in the exported ping file, okay? So I want the file that shows the work you did, and I want the file that's ready to be published, because I'm going to be publishing your work. I'll be publishing it to that Friday Sack Lunch critique. And you will be publishing your work to your blog. So you're going to need to publish the ping file to your blog. When you go to just insert a picture into your blog, you'll be inserting a ping, okay? Example file names you would submit to the Dropbox. So these are just some examples of how you might save and name a file. Abstract design. So if we're doing an abstract design, that'd be a great name. And you'll have your Inkscape file and your ping file. Here is something that's really important though. If you do not submit the Inkscape file, if this .svg file is missing, I will not grade your work, okay? I need to see that you created that in Inkscape, okay? It will receive a 0 until the Inkscape file is submitted. So does that mean that if you submit something to me and you're like, oh, I can't find that file, I don't know what happened to it, I'm not going to grade it. I don't care what excuse you come to me with. I need to see your Inkscape files, okay? All right. I promise this will make sense as we go. I know it's a lot to take in on just a syllabus, but I wanted to give you a heads up now just to help to have it start to sink in, okay? Here's something that students for some reason try to do often, and I get the reason why, but please don't do it because it just interferes with my ability to grade your work and to get it posted to the critique. Just don't paste your images to Word documents. You may be required to write an essay, and if you did write me an essay, if it was like, write me an essay, and you wanted to put some images in your essay, that would be totally acceptable. That would be perfect, because I would expect you to turn in a Word document for an essay, and it would be awesome if you had pictures on it to illustrate what you were writing about. But if it's just your assignments, your images that you're creating in Inkscape, just upload those files directly to an assignment Dropbox, okay? There is a place where you can leave a note when you submit your file. So if there's something that you wanted to say to me, just say it in a note, okay? All right, so grading policy. Grading is based on the rubrics in the assignment directions, okay? So this first week, you're not gonna see a rubric, all right? But next week, when you have your first Inkscape assignment, you will have a rubric. Follow the rubric step by step to earn full credit, okay? Because that's basically what I'm looking at to decide grading. Because I don't want to grade based on my emotions or, you know, based on my opinions. I'm going to grade it based on whether or not you completed a series of steps, okay? So that takes the, oh, it's ugly, I'm going to get a bad grade out of it, because it's not about whether something's pretty or ugly. It's about whether or not you can follow directions and complete the tasks. If you get a graphic arts design job, your boss is going to give you a series of tasks, and it will be your job to complete every single one of them. Okay, so I'm just kind of training you for the real world. If you do not complete the rubric, I may give you a 0 and ask you to resubmit. So if you did most everything in the rubric and skipped a step, I'll give you an opportunity to go back and get those points by doing that step. It might have just been something silly that you overlooked. But if you just is obvious you just did not follow that rubric, I'll just give you a 0 and make you go back and do it again. So just follow the rubrics. It's really not that hard. In the real world, if your boss asks you to complete a task, you will not get paid until the task is completed correctly, okay? Below is a summary of the syllabus rules and expectations. Please use it to take the syllabus quiz. So I, state your name, Have read, understand, and agree to fulfill the expectations of Fine Arts A syllabus as. Oh, this isn't Fine Arts. I gotta change that. Woohoo! Digital arts syllabus as summarized below. I understand this is an asynchronous class, so I am required to complete the work independently. I know that if I need help, I can attend the art classes listed in my Class Connect schedule anytime. I agree to engage in two-way communication with Mrs. Girot at least once per week to keep her informed of what my goals and personal plans to succeed are. I will submit my assignments by Thursday, 3 p.m., so that they will be included in the Friday sack lunch critique. I will always do my weekly lesson before I start the assignment. I will reread the assignment directions carefully, completing all requirements of the rubric before I submit to the assignment Dropbox. I will do my best work. I understand that if I fall behind or start to fail this class, I will be required to attend live intervention classes until I catch up. I am aware that if I am earning an A or B, I am exempt from the attendance requirement and will automatically be awarded the 20 points weekly. However, if I allow my grades to slip to a C or lower, I understand weekly attendance will be required. That is, I will attend at least one live art class in my Class Connect schedule per week so that we can set goals and monitor my progress. I will earn 20 points for doing so. I will not plagiarize, meaning I will not turn in other people's work and act like I did it. Ooh, okay, I just edited that. I understand that if I do not submit the Inkscape file, the one with the extension .svg, Mrs. Girot will not grade my assignment. I will receive a 0 until I turn in the Inkscape file. I understand that if I do not complete the requirements of the rubric, I may receive a 0 on the assignment and be asked to resubmit. When Mrs. Girot sends a text, voicemail, or email, I will respond to her within 24 hours. And then I'm going to be asking what a number I can text you at and what a number I can call you at is if you don't have text. So that concludes me reading the syllabus to you. Now it's time to go and take your syllabus quiz. I know that was long, but I wanted to make sure you had a full understanding of my expectations. That way we get off on the right foot and have a very successful and awesome block. Super excited to get to the fun stuff. That's where, after you get finished with this orientation, you can get started with the fun stuff in the lesson.